Well, here she is. Yeah, the Honda gets to go through yet another aftermath video. It's had a few too many. Will it have another? Well, this tire was already flat, so ignore that part. Back of the car still looks pretty much the same. I do feel like I made a hit or two going backwards, but they weren't anything with any kind of speed, so nothing crazy impressive going backwards. Hopefully everybody got to watch the heat. If not, go back and check it out. I feel like this part's coming up a little bit more, but Hondas do as Hondas do. It's all coming together pretty well. We still got air in this one back here. We've got that's fresh. We got a new window into the back of the car. Driver's door stayed relatively clean. Vinyl even still looks good. Left front all still looks pretty happy. Since the tire's facing this way, I can show you. I did chain that one up too, just in case this ball joint decided to pull out, but it wasn't needed. Now, the front of the car. Yeah, Honda lost yet another bumper, but Adam welded this one on, so it's not my fault. The hood is pushed up and sandwiched together a lot. This threaded rod, I'm pretty sure, is not connected down there anymore. Everything else, honestly, it's not that bad. This side of the frame, it looks like it might have a little bit of a bend to it, but it's really, if it is, it's minor. I don't know, what do you guys think? You see any bends in there I'm missing? Looks relatively straight to me. Then we go over to this side. This side looks farther back than that one. So I'm thinking this might be, she might have a little bit of a kink to her. But again, overall, it's relatively straight. I ended up not going to the hardware store and getting the grade 8, so that bolt actually stayed in there, and it held together pretty well. So what took me out? Right there. Broke off 3 out of 4 wheel studs. Stripped the other one. Why'd that happen? Well, I told you guys I had cut my own bolt pattern because I didn't have any that matched. Just like this side, so it's all cut. This one's in there fairly tight, but you can see even this one's like that's loosening up. Oh yeah, finger tight. Because you get a little bit of play trying to tighten everything down, and I had thought I had tightened it down pretty good, but I'm thinking because I had done the same thing on this side to get a little bit of vibration, I was obviously trying to put the gas to it, broke all of them off. So, what's the fate of the Honda? Well, I really wanted to get rid of this car, but you guys know me. It came back in better shape than I was hoping. This is kind of a stupid thing. I mean, we cut some corners and we paid for it. I feel like if that would have stayed together, I'd have probably made my way into the money. The show ended shortly after I was out, so I feel like I'd have had a pretty decent chance. So, I have to do a little bit of research, but from just looking at it, I feel like with these 4 bolts, that whole thing just comes off. It doesn't look like the studs actually go through like they do on most cars that I'm used to. I don't really want to junk a car just because I said I wanted to junk a car at the end of a run. I feel like this car probably actually deserves to get the attention that it never got because it's always just kind of been a throwaway. Didn't really like it. Adam hated it. It was a chase car for the last man standing race, so it didn't have to be built like a derby car. So it's always just kind of been the redheaded stepchild in the back of the barn. Now it's been run a couple times. The engine runs great. there's nothing up here to hurt. I mean, if I would have got to make more hits with it, I don't think, I mean, yeah, I'd have been hitting with the engine, but that's okay. There's nothing in there. It doesn't have a radiator in it. It doesn't have an alternator in it. It doesn't have, power steering. The belt's off. I mean, there's nothing really working up there that would be at risk. And a lot of guys are building these cars and they're having great success with them. So I think the right thing to do is to give this car the time it deserves. I'm going to stop trying to put that caddy bumper on it just because it's what we have. Then I'm going to put a bumper like this guy on there that's just a steel tube. Actually cut this out a little bit and get a bumper on there the way that it's supposed to be and give her another run. What do you guys think? See the Honda get the attention that it actually deserves? The little stuff. I did this in a hurry. I feel like if you clean this stuff up a little bit, maybe she won't grind quite so bad while I'm driving around out there. The axle's still in it. Axle's still good. Still runs. The rotor was still spinning after the tire walked away from me. So, with as little amount of work as it needs to be a competitive car again, I don't think I can get rid of it. We'll put her back here and we'll throw a tarp over it, and it'll have to be a next year car because I got to get started on the olds for Boscobel. But I think the old Honda's gonna have to run again. Be a good car to have for early season next year. One less I've got to build in the off season. People always say, I don't want to run that car again, or just junk it. It's been such a problem child, or whatever. I get that, but it'll take me an hour to fix this car, 2 hours maybe if you really give it a lot of love, and that's a whole hell of a lot less time than it's going to take to build a fresh one. So I think that's the plan. We'll see this as an off-season freshen up. We'll go from there. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Rochelle was a ton of fun. I had fun. We appreciate you following along as always. Get goosed.